Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I stopped by for a minute to say hi. Hey, Faye Lewis, good to see you. Teresa, Pat, good to see you. I won't be with you long, but I certainly, Sheila, good to see you too. Hello, Miss Sutton. You're supposed to be here. Still good to see you. Today, I'm so excited. Today, we have someone that I believe is going to become one of the great success stories, hey, Faye, of Black business. You know, there are certain categories of business that have really been historic in Black America and continue to be so. But there's one area that we have not really entered into at the level that I think we should. I'm working with two different organizations to change that. And I'm hoping today will spark your interest. Some of you have heard a little bit from this person if you heard our podcast. And we're about to make an announcement about our podcast soon. We're forming a whole podcast network, and that's in the making. But I decided to go much deeper, much further, and to get an update on this business that's run by a young woman who I think is just very inspiring. So that's who's with us today. And specifically, I'm doing it today because, as you know, every Wednesday now, we've been for the last few Wednesdays on the road to our FinFest. Our FinFest in 2021 is designed to do what the Debt-a-thon did in 2020, although the Debt-a-thon was focused exclusively on debt. We focused on personal debt, consumer debt, credit card debt, auto loan debt, mortgage debt, and student loan debt. Whereas this year, we're still focusing on debt, student loan debt, all kinds of debt. If you need a financial system to get out of debt, we have a nonprofit partner provided through Prudential to help people deal with their debt. And we've got data that suggests a lot of people, not enough, but a lot of people have contacted our partner, GreenPath. They've started their debt reduction plan. They're paying down their debt, and it's working. And in fact, more people have contacted our partner, Vault. GreenPath is general debt. Vault is specifically student loan debt. And we've even had more people contact Vault, and those people have paid down, I forget what the number is, but I know there have been thousands of dollars paid down this year through either our student loan debt partner, which is Vault, or our general debt partner, which is GreenPath. And hundreds of people have talked to financial advisors from Prudential to help think through and organize a new and expanded financial plan. So this year, our FinFest will include those resources. However, we also will have a resource, a company that lends people money who buy, fix up, and sell houses. Some people call that flipping houses, but it's not just flipping houses. It's really investing in our neighborhoods. So we have a resource there where the lenders will actually be at the FinFest. We also will have an attorney there to help people understand why they should have a will, why they should update their will, how they should go about dealing with their last will and testament, their estate affairs. That's at the FinFest. At the FinFest, we will have an organization called SCORE, and that's why I want this interview today to be really taken seriously, because this young woman started her business without a mentor. And SCORE is an organization that provides free mentors from among their members who are all successful but retired business people. And so SCORE will be there, and SCORE will be there to sign up business mentors. Of course, the D3 Online Academy will be there. We've got about 3,300 people signed up in the D3 Academy. About 10% of them have graduated. We're looking to graduate more, and they will be there to answer any questions you have. Then we have other resources also. So it won't just be debt. Moneyline will be there. Someone very close to me just joined Moneyline yesterday. And they said to me, you told me about Moneyline, but I just got involved and I should have done this 2 years ago. They're improving their credit. They're investing in Bitcoin. They're doing all kinds of things. And then on the main stage, we've got entertainment. I've got CeCe Winans, Fred Hammond, Kiera Sheard. We got the jazz artist, first time, Will Downing. And we're also launching the FinFest this year with a D-Free comedy special. And we're going to record that actually next week. Jonathan Slocum, who's a great Christian comedian, is going to do a whole comedy concert around money and things that relate to D-Free issues. So it's a great weekend, November 19th, 20th, and 21st. But today we're focusing on entrepreneurship because we want more of our people to take advantage of opportunities to start our own businesses. Most of the jobs in America are created by small businesses. And this young lady has started a business and she's doing very well in South Carolina. Oh, we're also going to have a franchise resource to help people understand that sometimes you don't start your own business on your own, but the better strategy is to buy a franchise or to start a franchise or buy a, what do you call it? To buy, I think it's to, I forget, well, buy a franchise. So without any further ado, I want, excuse me, I want to introduce to some and present to others a young woman who is doing exactly what I love to see young people do, and that is stop complaining about what other people are doing in our neighborhoods and start doing it yourself. So fasten your seatbelts, let somebody know, send out the link. It's not too late. Go on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, let them know you're on the D-Free Road to FinFest webinar as we present our conversation today with Miss Kiana Joseph from Rock Hill, South Carolina. For a treat today because you're going to listen in on the conversation with one of my heroes. This young woman is someone that I met in Washington, D.C. I gave a speech, and in my normal fashion, I was lamenting the fact that we spend so much money on beauty and on hair and on nails, men and women, not just women, but that we don't do the beauty ourselves. That was in my speech. And I talked about the fact specifically that the women in my congregation were spending big money on a regular basis, getting their nails done by people who don't look like them. And of course, after my old D-Free presentation in Washington, this young woman walked up to me and said, well, I am Black and I do nails and I teach people to do nails. So I'm not what you described. And she stopped me in my tracks. Basically, in a nice way, what she was saying is that I am the exception. So you need to know about me. Her name is Kiana Joseph. She's in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And not only does she own a nail shop where people work, she'll tell you about that, but she literally owns a school, a state certified school where she teaches people to become nail technicians. And I'm fascinated by her because she is the exact opposite of the image that we have of foreigners coming to the hood making money. And she works hard and she makes a lot of money. Welcome, Kiana Joseph. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Last time you and I spoke, we were doing podcast and we couldn't see your face. It was just like a radio show. But this time we're doing webinar. And now after all of these months of COVID-19 stuck behind closed doors, I have a chance to introduce you to the world. So Kiana, bring me up to date. You have the Pampered something nail shop. What is that? Pampered Nail and what?
Pembroke City School of Nails.
Okay.
It's
Pampered.
Pembroke. At the school, we teach how to do nails, and we just expanded into teaching you how to do the skin. Um,
How to do what to the skin?
Waxing, facials, makeup, the whole 9 yards. So now we're everything from the skin to the nails.
This is crazy. Okay, so we're starting kind of in the middle because I want to go all the way back to the beginning. But you have a school's about how large physically? How large is your school?
The location is 3,000 square feet.
3,000 square feet. Listen, that's the size of a big house. And how many students do you have?
I do every 3 months. I try to do between 10 to 15, no more than 15 students at a time, between day shift and night shift. So it may be 15 in day and 15 in night. Right now, I'm only doing 15 in the daytime.
And do you actually teach these students yourself?
Yes, I teach them myself. I try to bring on somebody else to help me, help teach with me. I get other companies and stuff to come in and do demos and things like that also.
So where'd you get this idea? That's what I want to know.
I started doing nails when I was 19 while I was in college.
Right.
As a way to help my mom pay for me to go to college. And I end up liking it. And as I started working more, a lot of people would come to me and ask, hey, can you train me? Can you train me? Can you train me? And after I got to 20 years of doing nails, I just was like, I need to start teaching. I need to start move somewhere, another direction. And so that's how I started with the school, just to kind of help me be able to still be able to go to my kids' functions and just work around what my life.
Okay, so we'll talk about your kids later on, but I really want to walk through this because we have time to do it. So you're 19 years old, we're in college, and you wanted to make extra money.
Yes.
How did you know that you knew how to do nails?
I didn't. I found that I was just brainstorming things that I can do that would like give me the flexibility,
right?
Just to kind of be my own boss, so I could like finish school and just. I was working third shift at a manufacturing company, and it just wasn't working out for me working third shift and still trying to go to school. So I needed something that would be kind of flexible. And I found the nail program. I was like, hey, I'm gonna give it a try. And
so wait. This is, see, you take this for granted because you did it. But what I'm telling you is that there are literally millions of people who are stuck and they need more money. You know, we teach people pay as you go, pay your bills on time, live within your means. But at the end of the day, people need money and everybody wants things that cost money. So at 19, you decided you needed more money, but you did not have any experience with doing nails at all?
Didn't even get my nails done.
So you identified, see, this is interesting. It's interesting because 9 times out of 10, we encourage people, find your passion, find something that you're really good at, and then figure out a way to get people to pay you to do it. What you're telling me is that you found something that people paid other people to do, and you decided to learn how to do it?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. See, this is why you're my hero. When I say you're my hero, I'm not playing, because this is an example. You are living proof that it's possible. So you decided that you could make more money having more flexibility than a third shift worker in a manufacturing plant doing nails, but you had no experience with nails. So what was the next step?
I found a school close by, and I signed up.
You found a nail school?
Mm-hmm.
How much did it cost? Did it cost money to go there?
Yes, it was $3,000. $3,000 to go there. So the money that I had saved from working third shift, and because I worked third shift for a while, so I could finish the nail school and go to the university. So I paid for
So
the
you
nail.
saved $3,000.
Yes,
You
yes,
didn't pay for the nail school on your credit card.
no. Mm-mm.
See that's another, you know what we have to do?
Uh,
I have to come to South Carolina and bring my film crew with me. We have to turn your story into a course, because everything you're saying is a step that people need to learn. That you wanted more money, you set some goals, you saved some money, you invested in yourself. You're a walking course, and we can create a curriculum around you. Okay, so now you paid your $3,000. How did you find the nail school, by the way?
it was a barber shop that was like a neighborhood. Always, it was a barber school that I always heard. I went in there and I asked them if they knew any nail tech programs, and the lady that was there, she was like, well, I can teach you the nail program. She said, I can do the nail program for you. So I was the only student. um she hired her nail tech to come and teach me how to do nails, and her nail tech was an Asian lady.
I
So
see. So was this a legitimate school or just a lady that knew how to teach that?
it was barber school.
I see.
um
Private
it was
school.
a barber school. She taught how to cut hair. And when I came in there, she just like, okay, I can get into doing nails. I have the school. I'm licensed to do this. So we went from there.
All right. So it took you $3,000 and how much time to become a nail technician?
I had to do 300 hours. So I finished in as little as 3 months.
So
Yeah.
you took the training, and then what, you have to take a test or something?
I went before the state board and took a theory exam, 110 questions on the theory exam, and then I did a practical in front of the board of examiners to get my license.
Now, where's the board of examiners? Did you have to go to Columbia for that?
Columbia. Yeah, Columbia, South Carolina. I drove down there and did that.
And you were what now, 20 years old?
20 years old. 20
Okay,
years.
so now you're a licensed, now you passed the test, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're a licensed nail tech. What's the next step?
A license. After that, I worked in the barbershop.
Same barbershop?
The same barbershop. She had a barbershop connected to her barber school. So I rented out a room from her and did manicure and pedicures to the guys that got their hair cut and things like that. And I bring in clients to do the women's nails and things like that. So I stayed there for a while. And then
wait. You know, Kiana, you're making me mad because you're saying stuff like, I brought in clients. How did you get clients to come to you, a brand new nail tech that had no reputation to do nails?
Well, this is something that I'm big on. I try to tell a lot of people now that they can't just solely rely on social media, because when I came up, there was no social media. So what I had to do, I printed T-shirts. I went to the universities, to any of their little fairs that they had, and I passed out business cards. I made CDs for study music for the students, and it'll advertise my business through the CDs. I went to the local doctor's offices, the businesses around me, gave out flyers, talked. And I just did one person after one person. They'll go back and tell somebody else. Next thing you know, everybody on their lunch break was trying to get me in through the day on their lunch break. They was taking time, you go the first half of lunch, I'll go the next half of lunch. So I just got out on hand and foot and went to these businesses and talked to the people and was like, do you mind if I leave flyers? I left flyers in the post offices. I left wherever I was at, I would leave a flyer, a business card, just advertising me. I went to the churches. I would leave different flyers and stuff in the churches, just whatever I could do.
Well, I guess I would summarize that answer simply by saying Kiana Joseph built her business the old-fashioned way. And I want to say that this is a good example because I've seen people with 1 million followers on social media that can't sell 10 t-shirts.
Right.
So social media has its strengths, but social media also has its challenges and its weaknesses. And what Kiana said is absolutely critical, that the old-fashioned way of building a brand, we didn't call it branding back then. The old-fashioned way of building a business is to build it, to go where people are, to establish your relationships, to go one person at a time. That's the old-fashioned way. And the fact of the matter is, the best social media among human beings on earth is word of mouth. That's the bottom line. Because you can see beautiful pictures on Instagram that promote horrible businesses. But if my friend tells his friend, who tells his friend about something that they actually believe in and have experience, there's nothing better. And Kiana Joseph is an example of that. So now you're 20 years old. You stayed in school, right? You're still doing school.
Yep, I'm still in school. Yes, sir.
And you're doing nails as a licensed nail technician, Black woman, single, right? And so you keep doing nails. What's the next step in your progression?
The next step after that, I stayed at the barbershop for a little while until I was out in the mall, walking around the mall shopping, and I seen the nail salon had a sign in the window. It was a traditional Asian salon, and they had a sign said, "Now hiring." And I was like, I wonder if they're hiring me. I wonder if they're hiring me. So I said, they can't tell me, but either yes or no. So I took a shot, went in there, and they was like, okay. And as I went in there, it was the lady who taught me how to do nails. It was
her. The same lady.
The same lady. It was her salon, her mom's salon. And so she was like, yeah, mom, she'll be good. She'll be good. So they took me on up under their wing, and I just stayed with them for about 5 or 6 years. And wherever they went, I went. And after that, it's just been going.
So obviously, one, you were a good student. Two, you established at least a friendly relationship with your instructor because she gave you a good recommendation. Little did you know that you'd bump into her in the mall.
It was like 2 years later.
Oh, there's so many lessons here that we have to unpack, because these principles are principles for success in whatever business you're going to build. So now you're in the mall 5 or 6 years. You're working with people of Asian descent. And what's next?
So after that, I took a little break from nails because I had a child. I worked up until the day I had her in the last salon. I left work at 9:30 and had her about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I took a break.
We'll leave that part. We're going to leave that part out of the course. All right.
Okay.
We're not going to teach people how to work until an hour before you have a child.
No, but I came back. When I came back to work, they had changed owners, and I didn't really. The next owner, they wasn't used to the idea of an African American doing nails, and
the new owners were Asian, right?
Yeah, they were Asian.
See, that's what black people have to learn how to do business with black people. Asians do business with Asians. Yeah. Other people do. I mean, that's what we have to do. Go ahead. And we're going to talk about that in a little while.
So they wasn't too fond of the idea of, me, an African American, doing nails with them. So it was they made it kind of hard for me. So I got kind of discouraged and I stopped doing nails for a while. And I came back in 2015. I said, I have to come up with a way. I don't want to leave this industry anymore. I went back to corporate America, working in the banks and doing things like that. And it just wasn't my personality. I'm more of a bubbly, happy going person. So I was like, I made myself a vow in 2015 that I was going to stay in this industry, get back into this industry and stay, and wasn't, whatever I did, it was going to be pertaining to the nail industry, the beauty industry. I just wasn't going to give up.
All right, now this has nothing to do with nails, but I have to ask you this because you said you got discouraged. We all get discouraged. But what I need to understand is, how did you get undiscouraged? What happened? Did you wake up one morning and say, I've had enough of discouragement? Did you listen to a message that somebody spoke? Did you hear a song? I mean, usually something happens to help us get undiscouraged.
During that time of being discouraged, my faith with God just grew tremendously. I've always had a Christian background, a church background. I grew up in church. It's just my walk with God became a lot stronger. And I know I had the little ones looking at me, and I tried doing things that were, you know, like the world say, go to corporate America, you'll succeed in there, and, you know, go up the ladder. It wasn't working for me. And God just told me to step out on faith. He's like, you're a smart girl, just step out, just start with what you got, start with what you know. And the only thing I had besides corporate America was nails. And so I was like, I got to make this work. I was going to all the motivational classes they can take. I was going to all different, you know, women empowerment things and all of that, just trying to get motivation. And it dawned on me that the only motivation, my motivation had to come from inside. I could go to all the conferences I wanted to, but as long as I had to motivate myself, and I just had to step out there.
Wow.
Just to step out there with, I didn't have much. I came up with a plan to start saving, take my, I told you before, took my tax money.
Right.
Went to another, went to another traditional Asian salon, and they hired me, and I started back building up my clientele again through word of mouth, no social media. I did one person, and they was just happy to see a young Black girl in the salon at this time in 2015.
Let me ask you this question. I want to go back to the mall. When you went back to the salon and they had new owners, the new owners weren't really feeling having a Black technician. Did they have Black customers at that time?
Yes.
So they had Black customers, but they weren't interested in having a Black technician. That's very interesting.
They would skip over me, wouldn't give me a client, things like that. Try to take all the money, take all the clients, so I couldn't make any money. Some days I would go and I would sit there and they wouldn't even give me a turn. Like they were like, oh, she had an appointment, make up lies and tell lies to me. The reason why the client was coming, or why it wasn't my turn, or something like that.
The reason I've asked you all these personal questions, and I appreciate you answering them and being patient with me, is because success has principles that are transferable, and our mission is to help people understand the principles of success. Faith is certainly a part of them, but my motto for 30 years when I was pastoring was faith in action. You know, the Bible says faith without works is dead, but we often don't know what the works should be. And you're just an example of faith and works coming together. So now let's fast forward. You come back to the industry and you're using your license to do nail technician work, but something happens to go from simply being a nail technician to opening your own school.
What happened, the transition from there, I had been at the last salon for like 5 years, and it was going good. I was doing good. But at that time, the last year, I started working for the state, teaching continuing education classes, because I didn't tell you, when I was in college, I was going to school for teaching elementary. So I started the continuing education classes, doing those one time a month for the state of South Carolina. And so I went into work one day. I was just hitting my ceiling while I was in the nail salon, the traditional nail salon. And I looked at my paycheck, what they gave me my paycheck. And it said that it was showing that I was giving them $700 a week. And I know I was bringing home at least anywhere from $1,500 a week. And I'm like, I'm doing all of this for this company. And I'm kind of pretty much at my ceiling where I'm doing all I can do. I didn't have enough time in the day to take on more clients because I was so booked. And I was like, if I can bring in $2,000 a week and for somebody else, I should be able to at least bring in $2,000 a month for myself. And I went with that, and that's how I started the school. I went searching just one day out of the blue. I talked to my mom and I was like, Mom, I think I want to quit my job. And once my mama tell me it's okay, and she's like, okay, well, if you feel, I say, Mom, I thank God telling me to go. And I found a building and just kept going. I read a whole lot about the laws, what it would take to get where I was trying to go, what I needed to do. I just read. I went to all kind of seminars, business classes, any class they was having, public speaking classes, tax classes. I went to all of those classes so I could prepare myself. It still took a year before I actually opened up the school. And I see why it took a year, because I had a lot of training that I needed to do. A lot of setbacks with the state. I got pushed back a little bit.
But Kiana, you're telling you went from doing nails to opening the school. You didn't go from doing nails to opening your own nail shop?
No.
Really? Even though you were generating what, $2,200 a week, right? Which is over $100,000 a year. If you'd opened your own nail shop, you would have kept all that money for yourself, right?
I would have, yeah.
So you skipped over going from working to owning, and you went from working to teaching. What I mean, that's a bigger step than most people would consider taking. Is that, I mean, would you do it again that way, or would you do it differently?
Yes, I would do it the same way.
Same way.
My what I saw working in the nail industry, I didn't see many of me. And I knew that even in the traditional Asian salon, they were having a hard time keeping workers, keeping employees. So I figured that if I trained the train the nail techs and get them up and running, then offer them a place to work.
I see.
So now I have a kind of like a revolving door. As long as I'm bringing in students, I always have potential employees.
Yeah, I see that. And you were paying the shop that you worked in $700 a week, which means that every person you hired could potentially pay you the same thing. Let me tell you something. Can I tell you a secret?
What's that?
I was so motivated after the first time you and I spoke. I started looking for a nail shop to buy myself. I'm telling you, and I'm getting just as motivated now that I hear the numbers, because you didn't even tell me this much detail last time because we didn't have as much time. And I went to buy a shop, and it was an Asian shop, and I was working through a broker. And when they found out I was Black, they stopped talking to me. They wouldn't sell to me because I was Black.
Well, now that I have a lot of Asian friends in the community, I've just since over the years, I've built up a bond
Right.
with a lot in the community. But the moment they found out that I was opening up expanding my salon to beyond me, to have people working for me, they stopped talking to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some of it was like, well, why didn't you come and why didn't you talk to me? I could have let you manage my salon. Or you don't need to do that. It's too much money. Or stay with the school. You don't need to do the salon. And all of that right there. Just all kind of excuses. And now I barely even hear from them. They call me every day. Kiana, help me with this. Kiana, help me with that. Kiana, can you train these people? Can you do this? Now I probably can tell you how many times I've talked to them. I can count on hands. And so it's
Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. But yeah, we've had similar experiences. But that's another reason I wanted to talk to you, because I think you're in a position to help a lot of us break into this industry that you're doing well in. So now it's around 2015, you said?
Yeah, 2015. 2000, that's when I went back into the nail industry.
Right.
The school started in 2018.
Okay, so the school, let's talk about this school.
Mhm.
Before you started the school, that's when you went to classes, you studied the law, you looked at taxes, all with the school in mind, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And when did you realize you were ready to start the school?
Well, a little bit when I was still at the salon, me and one of the workers had a little disagreement. And she just made me feel like she kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It was discrimination. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to work for myself full time at this school. That's how I knew I was ready. I started having medical issues all at the same time. And I just think it all came from being I feel like it was God telling me I wasn't moving when he was telling me to. So he had to cause other things to go chaotic in my life for me to like step out there and just kind of force me to start the school. And that's what happened.
So now to start a school,
Mhm.
you have to have a location, you have
Yes.
to have money,
Yes.
you have to have license, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So I found a building. The guy, he was kind of hesitant to rent to me or rent because I was self-employed. It's the building that I'm in now. It was 3,000. He's like, this is a big building. I was like, I want it. So I got the building. I had to go through different planning and development with our city. I contacted the state of South Carolina. I had to go before the board for them to give me approval. I had to come up with a curriculum, school plan. In the process of getting there, I saved my taxes. Whatever money I had, I saved up about $10,000, and I started from there. Going to different places. You want me to go back to the background how I started?
Yeah, but where'd you get the curriculum? You sat down and wrote it out of your head?
No, well, the curriculum, the state of reading, all my reading, the state, they give you what they want you to teach.
I see.
I started researching different books and things like that. No one in the industry, the people that I knew in the industry, they weren't really willing to mentor me. So like I said, I had to just get down and read read all of the laws, go research other people's schools in different states and see what they were teaching, what they were using, the supplies they were buying, and things like that. I did a lot of Googling. It helped me out a whole lot trying to see what other schools were doing.
Did anybody help you? I mean, it sounds like you sought help. You tried to get mentors, they wouldn't do it, so you did it yourself. Did anyone help you with anything, or did you have to do it all by yourself?
Once I proved to my mom and my granddad, they're like my biggest supporters. Once I proved to them that I was really serious about this and they see that I was giving it all I My mom invested 3,000. She gave me $3,000, and she started purchasing some of the equipment that I needed, like office furniture and display cases and things like that. She started going out to thrifting and getting me all that good stuff to help me out. And my granddad, he gave me 3,000 to help me cover like the first couple of months rent, to help me out because I had left my job and things like that. And they knew I was taking my savings to get everything started. So they helped me out a whole lot. I cannot, but I had to show them that I was serious. It just wasn't something that I was just coming up with off of the top of my head.
Okay, so with your savings, with your tax return, with your grandma, or grandpa, and your mother, you were able to take the research you had done and everything you learned and open your nail school. Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And how did you get students?
So the way I started out with one person, one student. I advertised on social media and said that I was opening up a nail school. I started out with one girl. She lasted all of 2 days.
Oh no.
She's like, are we really in school? I was like, yes, this is a real school. We are really in school. She's like, I didn't think I was going to have to study and do all of this. I was like, yes, ma'am. And so she lasted 2 days. And so a week later, I got another student. And she's my first student to complete the program. After she started a week later, I brought in two more people. And we got up to 5 people in that class. And so I call them, those my first 5, the Mighty 5. We started out and finished the program with just those 5 people. And it was challenging because everybody pretty much was around the same age. So I was still trying to figure out how to be a businesswoman and not be so friendly and still be a teacher and still like focus on getting this done and making it a success. And so it was challenging at first. It was hard. It was really hard.
You're teaching people the content, right? And you're teaching people the technique. And at the end of your course, they should be able to pass the test to be certified or licensed themselves, right?
Yes. Yes. They'll be able to go take the theory exam and the practical exam. So it just wasn't a lot of hands-on. They still had to do like book work, learning things like anatomy and physiology, the health, customer service. Just they had to learn. This is a lot of things that the state required that I teach them outside of the hands-on portion.
So how do your students do on the exam? Do you have a good success rate?
Yes. I was at like 100% pass rate, but now I think I might be like at a 91. I had like 2 or 3 students that didn't quite pass the theory. One student that didn't pass the practical, but pretty much everyone is doing pretty good.
Okay. So if they don't pass, can they come back and take some more time with you so that they can, they can do that?
Yep. Yes, sir. My students know that they can come back to me anytime. I'll go back over the material. I give them any kind of study. They call me as much as possible. They call me all the time. But now as it has grown, I'm over like 100 some students. And I'm telling you, I can't call me all the time now.
So when you went to get your training, it cost you $3,000, right?
Yes.
How much will it cost me if I come to your school?
That's the one thing that I tried to keep it where it's still affordable. So I still charge $3,000 per person.
Wow.
I still charge $3,000. It's just people tell me to go up a little bit, but still with the industry, compared to some people around me, I'm still like a little bit higher than some of the schools that surround me.
Mhm.
So I keep it at the 3,000. I wanted to keep it at something that's affordable. And actually, I can tell you about the pandemic, how it's been really affordable for a lot of people during the pandemic. But I haven't, it's still $3,000. Now the esthetician program, it's a little higher. It is 6,100
Excuse me,
for
ma'am.
that.
What is an esthetician?
Uh-huh.
What is an esthetician?
So it's a person that deals with the skin of the body. And whether it's the face, the skin, all of the appendages of the body, skin, hair. We do a lot of waxing, all the other good stuff.
I see. So you anticipated my question, especially during pandemic. How do you find people paying for your course? Are they using credit cards? Are they taking out student loans? Are you eligible to take student loans?
Not with it, since the program is only 300 hours to be eligible for the financial aid. It has to be a 600-hour or more course.
I see.
And it's only a 300 hour. Now I could do like some places around here, they up the hours so they can get financial aid. But what I'm learning with this being a more like hands-on, some people's attention span is not, they don't want to stay that long. They want to find a quick career, something they can get right into. So I didn't want to up the hours on that part, but
so how do they pay? People have cash?
I came up with, I found a company. I have a lot of people. I came up with a company that allowed me to set up a payment plan option with them. And so I do a down payment and I let them break it up into 4 monthly payments if they need a payment plan. I do charge a little extra for the payment plan. But if they, a lot of people have been paying straight out of pocket, been paying the 3,000 up front. I can say one thing with the pandemic, it has helped a lot of people to save a little bit more or to have extra resources. So they are like taking this money and investing it in themselves, to kind of help.
So how much can a nail tech make after I graduate from your program, get my license? How much can I make as a nail tech? The same kind of money you used to make in the mall?
They making more than me now.
Really?
I have one girl out here now. She charges about, you sit in her chair, you paying 130 up for her service, for her nails.
$130 for nails?
Yes. And
how long do the nails last? 6 months?
2 to 3 weeks.
Lord help, I need to come get my license. $130, and she'll see 3 or 4 clients a day.
Yes. Yeah. You sit in her chair and it just depends. Now, not everybody spends that much. It just depends on the client. With a pedicure, they start out with like $40. But if you get into what a lot of girls are into, this long nails and all this elaborate stuff on them, those nails are running you a good price. You're going to pay a pretty penny for those nails.
So $3,000 is really a small investment in a career that really pays pretty well.
Yeah, the way I put it to a lot of people, because of some of when parents come in with some students and stuff like that, they're like, can they really make money? I was like, I can guarantee if they listen and follow and give it 100%, the $3,000 that they invested in this class, they can make it back within the first month that they're in out of school. I also have where when they're in school that they're required to start building their clientele while they're in school. And I do the math for them. If you start out with 18 clients, it's all that I'm requiring you to bring into school. If you start out with those 18 clients and you take those 18 clients out with you when you finish, it's no reason why you shouldn't be able to make that money back, that you just invested.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about your nail salon just for a minute, because I'm going to come back to the school and talk to you about the future. Okay.
Okay.
But so you open a nail salon,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have operators or technicians working in your salon, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What's your nail salon called?
It's called Polish the Nail Boutique.
Okay, Polish the Nail
Mhm.
Boutique. Is it physically connected to the school, or is it in another location?
It used to be physically connected to the school. I expanded and bring it about 6 minutes away from the school. So now I changed the whole model of the salon. I
Mhm.
went from booth rent to commission base here, and so that helped out a whole lot. I can talk to you about that too.
Yeah, not every state allows commission based, correct?
To my knowledge, they do allow commission based. It's always wherever I've been, it's been a lot of commission based.
I see.
Um, I I, um, I found that like most of and in the African American community, we want to do booth rental. We wasn't used to the idea of doing commission based, and so I'm having to sell people on how commission based can benefit the owner as well as the technician.
Yeah, I see. But let's go back to the school because
Okay.
as you heard when we first met, I have been very critical of the fact that in the Black community, we spend a lot of money. I didn't know we spent $130 per sitting, but we spend a lot of money
Yes.
on beauty and nails in particular, and the money leaves the community. And I just, I've been traveling around this country for a long time, and you're the only you I've met. Now, I have heard of a few other nail school owners, maybe 4 or 5 in the
Mhm.
country. But what I'm interested in knowing is this. Would you, at this point in your development as a businesswoman and as a professional woman, would you be interested in exploring the possibility of creating a franchise operation so people could follow your model and pay for your brand, and you would teach people how to do what you've done in other cities?
Yes. Yes, I would.
You
I
would.
would. I definitely would. Um, I'm not opposed to the idea.
Good.
I, I see little pampered beauties everywhere.
So folks, listen, this is news. It's what CNN will call breaking news. D Free is going to work with Kiana Joseph and hire a franchise development consultant to see if there's a way we can partner with her and support her in developing the first Black-owned nail school franchise in America. And I say
Yeah.
first because there's enough nails for there to be more than one, but all of these individual schools, all of these individual efforts can be enhanced if you follow a model. You saw in our franchise webinar, you heard our experts say that the value of a franchise is that you've got a proven model. Kiana Joseph herself is a proven model. If you follow her principles, then you can replicate her success. And now in the nail, I don't think the nail business is going anywhere. If anything, it's going to be enhanced by the eyelash. But do you sell eyelashes too?
That's part of the esthetician program.
Did I tell you that a guy offered me an investment opportunity into mink eyelashes and I thought he was crazy?
Oh, that's popping.
This was about, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago. I thought the man was on drugs. And he wanted me to invest in mink. I said, man, what kind of fool do you think I am to invest in mink eyelashes? Now he's laughing at me And I wish I had invested in these mink eyelashes. Um, I can't tell you enough times how much I admire you, your story, your process, your vision, your passion, and your faith. And I think you're going to be surprised by letting us spread your story. You're going to be surprised at how many people you're going to motivate. And I think you're going to be shocked to see how much money you can make just by doing what you do. But look, if Mary Kay can do what she's done, if,
Right.
if Avon can do what it's done, if Burger King and McDonald's can do what they've done, you are that for our community in this area. And I can't tell you how serious I am about working with you now that you are where you are and I am where I am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It gets
What else is it about this business that we have not discussed that we need to know?
I just really want like other entrepreneurs to know that it's you can be your own boss. You, for one, you got to learn how to, sometimes you got to learn how to be a follower before you can be a leader.
Mm.
That's something I've had to learn. I've learned in the process. And sometimes you gotta learn your competition, and you gotta study them. Don't be against them, study them, learn them, and go with it. You got to check out other people that's successful in doing what you're wanting to do, and go with it.
Yeah.
Just them and go, and just step out there.
I love that. So Kiana, the last question I want to ask you is this. I have a young team member who is a licensed beautician, and she is getting ready to market her services to funeral directors, morticians. Do you do work for morticians?
I personally don't do any work for the morticians. I do have a lot of students that they're wanting to get into that, working with the mortician. I have one girl who just did a full set of nails on someone in the casket. And
Right.
she sent me pictures, and I'm like, okay.
So you're not interested in doing it personally, but
Hey, but if they want to do it, I'm all for it.
all right. So I know this sounds stupid, but if the person is deceased, does the technician have to be licensed? I mean, there are no health concerns, there are no safety concerns, right?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. I think she had to be licensed to do any of that on the body, since they're already they're not living.
All right, let's change
Yeah,
the subject.
yeah.
That's just personal curiosity. But I do think I would love to see your Pampered Nail School become a franchise and have young people. Oh, you know what you didn't discuss? You didn't discuss the qualifications, age qualifications, educational qualifications to enter your school to become a licensed technician.
Well, to become a licensed nail technician, you have to be 16 years of age, at least a 10th grade education, a U.S. citizen, and that's pretty much it.
And that's in South Carolina, right?
That's in South Carolina.
Every state has its own standards.
In some states, you don't even have to go 300 hours. Some states you can go 200. Some you do 150. But pretty much, I think the age 16 is like the youngest, I believe.
Wow.
Pretty much most of the states do go. But like I said, it's only like a 10th grade education. So you don't have to have college degree, high school diploma, or anything like that. And I've had them as young as 16 starting. They start at 15, and some of the parents want to get them started at 15. And by the time they finish the program, they're 16. So I've had a couple of students like that. Some went through the summertime in between school. So they can, make a little bit of money while they go to college and things like that.
Well, folks, you've heard it here. Kiana Joseph, she is an outstanding role model. She is a superb businesswoman. She's a great mother. And I just think she is one of the success stories that's about to explode as we focus on Black entrepreneurship, as we make all of these efforts to circulate our dollars in the Black community more and more. And as we think outside the box about generating wealth. D-Free is not only about eliminating debt, but as you heard Ms. Joseph, the first $3,000 she invested in getting her license to be a nail technician was money she had saved. And you can't save money if you're drowning in debt. And that's why we say that getting out of debt is the first step towards financial freedom. This young woman is financially free. She's employing other people. She's expanding her entrepreneurial capacity and skills. So thank you, Ms. Kiana Joseph. This is exactly why I wanted to talk to you. I'm so thrilled that others have taken the time to listen in, and I look forward to starting the process. We want the Kiana Joseph Pampered Nail School to become a thriving Black-owned franchise, offering opportunities in cities across the country to investors and to operators and teachers. So God bless you, and you'll be in my prayers.
Thank you so much. You just don't know how much you've motivated me to keep going, keep pushing me. Just know that somebody else believes in what I'm doing. It's a blessing to me.
I'm the president of your fan club, believe me. All right, dear. God bless you. Thank you.